Well, as each day passes, Labor's international student caps debacle keeps going from bad to worse to disastrous. After promising so much to the higher education sector, including the University Accord, the Albanese government's hapless Minister for Education, Mr Clare, has managed to plummet this sector into turmoil. It's not as if he wasn't doing enough damage. Record high student debt driven by Labor's homegrown inflation, shocking campus anti-Semitism that does not mean different things to different people, declining completion rates made worse by Labor's abolition of the 50% pass rule, the nonsensical start-up loan scheme where students are forced to pay full price for courses they could previously do for free. And then came Labor's immigration mess, with the Albanese government opening the floodgates to record levels of international students, which is fuelling the housing crisis and causing unprecedented chaos in the international education sector. I want to reiterate how serious this is. In inner-city Sydney, suburbs like Glebe, rentals have gone up 17% in 12 months. And let's not forget, at the University of Sydney, there are now more than 50% of students who are foreign students, more than 35,000, clocking over that 50% mark and, of course, giving rise to serious concerns that universities like the University of Sydney have lost their social licence to bring foreign students to Australia, because the bottom line is, Acting Deputy President, the educational outcomes for all students matter, and that's why I've called for our public universities to go back to basics, including to focus on the educational outcomes for domestic students, which is their fundamental job. So the doubling of the number of foreign students studying in Australia went from 336,000 in March 22 to now more than 800,000, a mess of Labor's own making. Every country has a responsibility to manage its migration program in the national interest, but Labor has botched this fundamental obligation and Australians are paying the price. Then came Ministerial Direction 107, implemented by the former Minister for Home Affairs, who was so bad at her job that she was sacked by the Prime Minister. The decision was made to prioritise visa processing at our nation's most prestigious universities, the Group of 8, whilst smashing regional and smaller universities and private higher education providers. So Labor was looking after the big end of town while treating the regions and the private sector with contempt. This resulted this year in 83,000 student visas for the Group of 8 and just 8,900 visas for regional universities. Now Labor is covertly, behind closed doors, allocating individual student caps to higher education and vet providers using a flawed methodology which still looks after the prestigious universities while punishing many others. And we've heard in a number of Senate inquiry hearings great universities like Western Sydney, which play a vital role in educating foreign nurses who then go on to fill the gaps in the nursing workforce shortages. There are 10,000. There's a workforce shortage of nurses of 10,000 just in Western Sydney. They have been absolutely squeezed, as I say, while others haven't. And if you look across the sector, and we are really concerned about the numbers we are seeing, the university allocation has gone back by only 1%, while the allocation to private providers has gone back by 28%. And some private providers have been left with zero caps, like Nova Anglia, who is offering bachelor degrees in EV technology and has been left high and dry. So this is an absolute mess, and we are not satisfied with what we are hearing or seeing from this government. It is appalling the way the government is implementing these caps, and this minister should be ashamed of himself.
Senator Roberts.